It's me, Nimsuni. Welcome back to another VR video. Today we are back in the Remod sandbox, the physics setups and stuff. We are standing quite high up over here, as you can see. We've got some new water down there, and down there is where the last video took place. But today we have something quite cool. This here is a hang glider, with a lot of force as you lift it up and down. You can move it sideways pretty easily though, and of course it's entirely physics based, so we can of course grab it with both of our hands here, as you would with a real paraglider, and then we just have to hop over the edge. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. Whee! Point it down, and then as I lift it, and you can see in the shadow, woohoo! I can lift it. I actually get some updraft. Now I've added a little bit of a boosty engine behind it, so I can technically fly with it, which is pretty cool. Let's have some fun. Woohoo! It uses the actual updraft that you get as a result to push it upwards and very slightly forward as well at the same time. So you can see here, I'm using the boost right now, but I have also got a button to lift myself quite a bit. Woohoo! And of course you can let go of one hand, so you can quite literally fly with one, or glide with one, should I say. And with the other, crash into something else. Right, so we can quite literally, let's say, grab one of these. As we know, these are the super power guns, and then hold that, pointing it backwards, and let's go. Woohoo! And we didn't really move much, but you can see these things shoot us forward, while the paraglider itself does all the flight mechanics. And you're probably wondering, why is there a bunch of trees down there? Well, that's the next thing we're getting into. Today I'm going to be working on some RPG style elements within VR. Let's just drop this off over here. Where's it gone? And it's fallen in the water. So you can see, in fact, I'm going to reset while I'm shorter. As you know, I was testing this with a much lower height. So you can see here, pretty standard trees. And here we go. Let's have a look at what RPGs elements I'm talking about. So here we have some really oversized axe shapes. This one is pretty short. This one's much longer and heavier. And then, ignore that one. This is literally just the axe head. So let's have a look. Now what's happening here is we've got full physics based forces, and when it hits, the force is measured to create the amount of damage to the tree. So we do this, and you can see when I hit it hard enough, we get a number flying out the top. You can see I'm putting quite a bit of effort into hitting it, and I'm getting 3s and 4s, and that's because of this axe head. Now if I take the longer axe, which of course has the axe head the same mass, so this is the same weight except on a longer shaft, and then what happens now, you can see we get higher numbers. It's much easier to actually hit and get higher numbers, and you can see when we've hit 100, we've actually chopped the wood itself. Now let's have a look at those numbers again. 5, 4, 3. Come on, we're going to get higher than that. 11. I got a 16 there. 13. 3. So you can see those numbers are around the sort of 10s to 20s maximum. But here, with a much longer shaft and a slightly heavier head, we got a 26 out of that. Quite heavy, and we've got much more. We got much more impact in each hit. 22, and you can see we knock it down pretty quickly. Now this is really heavy. So you can imagine if we have a much heavier object on the end attached. Remember, this is a sandbox. This is a physics sandbox. So we have the ability to attach things once it's done properly. Now I've done it preemptively here, and we've attached some actual guns. So you can see these are actual guns. And you can see I'm shooting. It actually does fire the bullets. These are some actual guns, all wrapped up together, 4 of them, with an axe head on the end. And this will act as more weight. So these are physically attached. There's actually a physics object here and a physics object here, here. 5 physics objects all wobbling about right now. And they all act to increase the weight of the head. And you can see this acts more like the shorter axe rather than just the head by itself. Even though we are... Ooh, I just hit my controllers together there. We are technically using just the head up here. But it's attached to some weapons which increase the mass and wobble it about quite a bit. Now, of course, we could change the way we do this and increase our speed instead, which would probably cause the same results. And we can do that by using this. There we go. Up we go. I have a button that allows me to hover, but it doesn't actually speed me up. You can see that from that hit there, we did actually hit. I got an 11 there. But yeah, it's probably easier just to smack this thing. Now the idea is that you could technically take a rock, a sharp-edged rock, from anywhere. Imagine a survival game, for example. A sharp-edged rock, let's imagine, for example, this here is a sharp-edged rock. You could take a sharp-edged rock, which by itself ain't gonna do much chopping. So here, this is that point in Minecraft, for example, where you're basically punching the wood. And then when you attach it, for example, you find a stick and you attach it together, you've increased the weight of that thing and you've got this extra distance for the actual shaft itself. And as a result, bang, bang, bang. Did you see the 10s and the 12s? We've increased the mass on the end of this, even though it's the same piece. So hitting it by itself, we barely get anything. In fact, I can barely even get it to activate the numbers. But hitting it with this, and you can see I've just chopped down a tree. This is entirely physics based. This is just a log that I literally chopped a tree down to get. And this is just a piece of metal, for example, or a rock, anything sharp. And it doesn't work very well without that. It's really useful because if you had, for example, a weld or any form of attachment here, you could attach anything to the end, for example these guns, and you can create yourself an axe. And this is how crafting would work in VR. It's so much better than, ooh, I've made an axe by using string plus wood plus stone. It's just, forget all of that. Take the actual stone, take the actual shaft or wooden stick or whatever, take the actual rope and physically attach them together, and then actually use it to make the axe. So that's the idea. I mean, you could use this in RPGs pretty well. Yeah. To make a really useful system where you can craft things physically. And this is all physics based. So these things can be physically attached like they are here. You can see this is actually a separate object for each gun. And you can tell that they're separate because here, for example, I'm going to shoot this first gun. And you can see that the bullets are clearly coming out of that one gun. And if I grab the other one, these are separate objects. Look, left, right, and the shadowing in the background there a little bit off. But you can see here that they're clearly separate objects. Anyways, let's go over there, grab ourselves our glider again, So now let's go over to that mountain, and then I won't use the engine behind it. You can see it starts jittering quite a lot. My hands have already... we're going really fast, we're going really fast, we're going really fast. My hands are already sort of flying about because this thing is jittering like mad. At this point, we are literally on top of a mountain. In fact, the game's draw distance, I don't know why I haven't increased that, but you can see that it clearly needs increasing. We are now on top of this mountain. Let's have a go jumping off. So a little bit of height here, and then we use the glider. So now I'm not actually pressing any buttons right now except for grabbing onto the glider. So this is all completely natural movement now. Woohoo! I can just control it by tilting it however I want to, and you can see if I lift it now, we get some actual height. So here we're playing sort of Mario 64 style flying. Let's see if I can, without using the... Ooh. Yes! Yes! Ooh, I made it through. But I'd probably run out of energy here. And we're gonna go straight back in, and... Oh, I missed the water. Oh well, that's the end of this video anyway. That's just an idea I had, where using physics to actually create the physical sort of RPG style elements, survival type elements is what I actually meant there. Yeah, makes the game really fun. Let's just drive around here. Oh, crashed it. Oh, it's gone. Jump, 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 jump. That's the end of this video. Goodbye.